Okay, so Zion Williamson. So he's been the topic of conversation this past week, and what I want to talk about with Zion Williamson is trade rumors. So David Griffin and Zion Williamson, I think they met. Maybe it was either today or yesterday. What they talked about, who knows? But I will say that one red flag that Kendrick Perkins mentioned on First Take was that the New Orleans Pelicans, they let go of Teresa Witherspoon. Now, if you don't know who Teresa Witherspoon is, she is an assistant coach for the New Orleans Pelicans. And she was the assistant coach that was really sort of with Zion Williamson, trying to help him out, and sort of giving him advice, encouraging him, sort of being somebody that Zion Williamson can talk to, right? Because during the time he was sitting out with injuries and stuff, trying to come back, he was dealing with, mental health issues because as an athlete, not being able to play, constantly being injured, it can be traumatic in a way. And so she was there for Zion along the way to help him sort of overcome that mental struggle. And I think I say that as a red flag because that was one of like the coaches that Zion really trusted. I also saw another report where Zion doesn't really have a good relationship with the front office that much. Doesn't really have a close relationship with them at all. It could be that could be the case for majority of the players in the league, but at the same time, you have to look at it and say, okay, there's obviously not a lot of love between the two sides. Like, ever since the 2019 NBA draft, when Zion was about to get drafted, there was like reports of him saying he wants to go to New York. There was already red flags right there that he didn't want to go to New Orleans. And ever since then, there's always been sort of this, I don't know, there's always been something like awkward between Zion and the New Orleans organization. It always felt like he was halfway in, halfway out. Oh fuck. It's always a power struggle. There's always something going on, and I think that this relationship is not going to get better. I believe that Zion, he needs to change the scenery because it just seems to me that both sides just don't really vibe with one another. Both sides don't like one another at all. And specifically the Pelicans, because they drafted him number one for a reason. And the fact that you're that immensely talented, we gave you this contract with stipulations in it, obviously, and you still aren't able to live up to everything, it's going to be tough for them to sort of swallow, pause. I think that the Pelicans need to trade Zion Williamson because it's clear as day that this relationship is just not going to work long term. It's inevitable. I think it's just a matter of when they're going to trade him. That's why you see these trade rumors. I don't know if David Griffin, I don't know how the meeting with Zion and David Griffin went. Was it a positive interaction or was it a negative interaction? Who knows? But all I can say is that the fact that Zion, he's dealing with this sort of drama with these porn stars, with the baby mother, and then the overweight, and then the constant injuries. It's a lot of distractions not dealing with basketball. Everything is just off the court. It's bad PR. It's bad for his image. It's bad for the Pelicans business as well. And I think that with New Orleans, you hear these trade rumors for they're trying to get Scoot Henderson. I just feel like this is just a relationship that's not going to work because Zion never wanted to be there in the first place. He's even said he loves New York, like he wants to be a New York Knick, That's what he wants to be. He doesn't want to be in New Orleans. And I I'm not a conspiracy theorist, but is he constantly being overweight because he's trying to get out of there, or is he constantly being overweight because he just loves to eat? Like it always it's always interesting to me that he knows that he needs to be in shape, but he constantly can't do it. He constantly just keeps eating, keeps getting overweight, keeps being in the news for the wrong reasons. His injuries are legitimate. I'm not going to deny any of his injuries. I believe he's injury prone. But the weight thing is just interesting to me because he knows what he's doing. And the fact that he just continues to eat, continues to do the things that the organization doesn't want him to do, it's just a clear sign that he doesn't really want to be there. And he's just trying to, I don't know, put the pieces in place to force his way out of New Orleans. And will they pull the trigger is the question. That is the ultimate question in hand, and I don't know. It seems like the momentum is gearing that way. I would say so. But you never know with David Griffin. David Griffin, he's a prideful individual, and he wants to not look wrong in the situation. And by trading him away, you look like you made the wrong decision drafting him number one. So, and then also Zion gets traded and he hoops. He gets slim and he starts hooping at the other destination. You're gonna look stupid. So it's just a lot of risk involved with trading for Zion Williamson, trading away Zion Williamson. But if you can get Scoot Henderson back, then I think that's a trade that you should try to make.